Even before the Europeans came to America, the Native Americans were affected by war and migration. Tribes would fight other tribes, such as the Comanches, driving the Apaches off their land in the Central Plains, and other groups, such as the Cheyenne, became nomadic hunters and traders.
Get out! This is my land now! You wanna fight, bro? Let's! Hey, look at that yummy and useful buffalo over there. We should go get it. Yeah, I really need some buffalo pelt for my new shoes. I'm also really craving some buffalo bacon. Alright, let's go.
However, as soon as the Europeans came, they began pushing the Native Americans off their land and into small areas of land called reservations. These were established by treaties between the U.S. government and the chiefs of the tribes. These chiefs and tribes were actually loose terms for Native Americans that were mostly used by the Europeans. More often, the Native Americans were grouped by families and didn't use a similar system of government as the Europeans.
This definitely isn't right.
I don't know what you mean.
This obviously isn't the place we're living in.
Why not? You agreed.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's not how it works.
Well, you're staying here anyway.
In order to keep the Indians in line and prevent trouble, aggressive whites shot many Indians in cold blood.
These gosh darn Indians on my land. Bang, bang, you're dead.
In a series of cruel massacres, hundreds of Indians and whites lost their lives to ambushes and cruel attacks. One example was in 1864 in Sand Creek when Colonel J.M. Chivington's troops assassinated approximately 400 Indians who were originally promised immunity.
In peace!
The Native Americans also got their share of vigilante justice when in 1866 a Sioux War party attacked Captain Fetterman's civilian and soldier command to protect their property in the Montana Goodfields. The Battle of Little Bighorn broke out when Colonel George Custer brought the gold crates to the Black Hills of South Dakota and many whites stormed onto the land of the Great Sioux Reservation. The Sioux united under Sitting Bull, the Cheyenne, the Arapaho Indians, to form a force of 2,500 well-armed warriors against Custer's 7th Cavalry of around 250 men. The 7th Cavalry was brutally mutilated, and the Indians won the Battle of Little Bighorn.
They may have thousands of warriors and weapons, but we're American.
U.S. authorities tried to subdue Native Americans by herding them onto reservations. Many resistors to this arose, such as Geronimo, who led the Apache tribes, and Chief Joseph, who led the Nez Perce Indians towards Canada in order to resist reservation life. However, they were captured and forced to a poor reservation on Kansas.
Majestic buffalo, my plentiful source of food and fuel and clothes and equipment.
Little did they know their happiness would be short-lived. Over the next 18 months, William Buffalo Bill Cody would kill over 4,000 of these animals while employed for Kansas Pacific Railroad. Poor buffalo.
Where did my majestic buffalo go?
The short length of this segment mirrors how little the Americans cared about the buffalo.
In the 1880s, Americans began to feel compassion for Native Americans. Hardliners wanted to continue the brutal treatment, while humanitarians wanted to turn them into white culture. In this instance, it represents the removal of long-standing cultural totems in order to live a decent life. This is exemplified in the Battle of Wounded Knee, in which the revitalization of the Sioux religion was stamped out by federal troops. Yeah, we're stupid.
This is so stupid.
Meanwhile, the Dawes Severalty Act only rewarded free land to Native Americans that were good white settlers.
Did you see the shoes she was wearing last night? It totally didn't go with her outfit. It was so old last season. Do you see this? This is style. This is style.
Mining in North America came with a slow start. Many people would go to the West searching to get rich quick, but ended up completely broke. At certain times, though, like Nevada in 1859, avid miners were able to strike gold, literally.
Hey, look! I found gold! Me too! Definitely worth it.
Many other gold, silver, and mineral strikes formed quick towns that soon dried up in ghost towns once the money makers couldn't be found.
Okay, that should be enough.
Once the gold on the surface was gone, large corporations were brought in to form the mining industry, which also brought along jobs such as engineers. It also brought along many people, both men and women, that could find a lot of opportunity in the new land.